Good morning. Thank you for being with us here on air and on WFAA Plus. I'm Dia Wall.
And I'm Matt Howardson. Meteorologist Greg Fields here to my left. Traffic anchor Erica Lopez to my right. Let's start off with you first, Erica. What do we got going on the roads?
Yeah, we've got getting a little bit busier, starting to see volume pick up across the area and just have a handful of crashes. So we do want to get you out the door and show you what we have going on as far as the roadways are concerned. Taking you over to what we're seeing on our TxDOT cameras right now for your traffic impact commute here. I want to start you out in Tarrant County. This is 820 northbound coming into the North Richland Hills area. Still don't have emergency crews out here. We've got that far right lane closed off as you plan to make your way out. It's definitely congested out there. Looks like this finally cleared literally within the last few seconds, but we've been dealing with a 35E crash this morning approaching I-30. This is in Dallas County, a little bit south of the downtown area where we had some right lanes closed at first, then we had some left lanes closed. This is what things are looking like behind it, so we're still pretty busy and congested at East 8th Avenue. Again, 35E northbound. Then we still have this ramp closure. We've been following this for quite some time. Coming through the Mesquite area and toward it, 80 westbound to that 635 southbound ramp is closed off. I do want to show you what things are looking like on the map across the rest of North Texas. The other spot starting to slow is 30 westbound, making your way through Rockwall County. And then, of course, 35E is at a crawl coming into downtown Dallas. Think about 342 or 45 as a workaround. We do want to send things over to Greg now for a check of your forecast.
Yeah, another pretty good looking morning out there. You can see mostly clear skies out there for you right now, but those rain chances, they do return for tomorrow. So we'll get more in detail on that for you. Scattered thunderstorms on into the weekend as well, and that unsettled weather pattern will settle in as we head on into next week as well, with more showers and thunderstorms on the way. So stay tuned for all of that. In the meantime, though, it is mostly clear, taking you out to our studios here, but we'll see some lower clouds rolling in now that the sun's coming up here between now and midday today. 60 degrees with those winds out of the south, 9 miles per hour. So it is a little warmer, slightly more humid out there for you this morning as well, with those temperatures mid-upper 50s heading out to Greenville at 55, 58 coming over to Terrell and Canton. Then we'll have those lower 60s in the Metroplex, Fort Worth at 60 and 61 as we head out to Denton right now. So the kids heading off to the bus stop, maybe that light jacket or sweater here this morning. That windbreaker perhaps coming in handy, but otherwise, as we head toward noontime, we'll have the partly to mostly cloudy skies, lower 70s around noontime today, and then we'll come home with those temperatures right around 80. Those south winds may pick up a little bit more in that 10, 20 mile per hour range. But more on those storm chances coming our way heading into the weekend in just a bit. But now, guys, back to you.
All right. Thanks for that, Greg.
All right. It's been a tough week for gun violence in Fort Worth following another shooting.
From a deadly drive-by to a teen killed in an accidental shooting to 3 people who were shot last night. Police Chief Eddie Garcia says the department is working to curb that violence.
Chris Sadeghi joins us live from Fort Worth Police Department. Chris, what do the chiefs say needs to change?
Well, Matt, this shooting that happened last night follows a hard week of gun violence in Fort Worth, and Chief Eddie Garcia talked about what it's going to take to put an end to it all. He said just a couple days ago, in fact, last night, the shooting happened when a man and a woman, according to police, were in an argument out in the street. Some people came out to help. That led to a confrontation with the woman pulling a gun, shooting 3 people, including a man police identified as her boyfriend, who she was initially arguing with out in the street. But days earlier, on Easter Sunday, a 16-year-old died when police say his friend accidentally fired a gun. Just days before that case, 15-year-old Prince Washington was killed in a drive-by shooting. Garcia said stopping the violence is a community effort, and part of that effort includes responsibility.
We need to ensure that our community knows that a firearm needs to be handled responsibly. It needs to be secured, you know, whether in your apartment, whether it's in your car, or whether in a home.
And Garcia did add that even though it has been a violent week, overall across the city, the violent crime numbers are trending downward. Matt and Dia, back to you.
All right. Thank you for that update, Chris. Former Godley police officials are under investigation this morning in a case involving alleged public corruption and prostitution. The case is centered around a North Texas couple and former Godley police chief Matthew Cantrell, who's now charged with promoting prostitution. Investigators allege the activity unfolded over several years and may have involved gathering information on local public officials, from city leaders to school board members. Multiple people have been arrested, including Michael and Ashley Ketcherside. Godley ISD says that Ashley Ketcherside volunteered with the district but was never employed. City leaders say they are cooperating with investigators, and authorities warn that more arrests are possible as the investigation continues.
We are checking in on security measures as the UIL District 11 5A track and field meet opens today at Lobo Stadium in Little Elm. That's the same event where investigators say Carmelo Anthony stabbed to death Frisco Memorial High athlete Austin Metcalf last year. It's also the same venue that Anthony is also facing first-degree murder charges and is set to go on trial in June, which is just a short time away. Right now, the fragile ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran is facing its first major test. Iran refusing to reopen through traffic to the Strait of Hormuz, claiming that Trump has backed away from a key promise, President Trump that is, that Israel would stop strikes in Lebanon. But the White House says that was never part of the deal.
I think this comes from a legitimate misunderstanding. I think the Iranians thought that the ceasefire included Lebanon, and it just didn't. We never made that promise.
Israel continues its attacks in Lebanon. In the Strait, traffic still slow with few ships moving through. Here at home, gas prices are climbing. Experts say even if the Strait does reopen, relief at the pump could take a few months. Overnight, President Trump posted that U.S. troops will remain in and around Iran during the ceasefire.
This morning, the husband of a missing Michigan woman in the Bahamas has been arrested.
It comes after her daughter raised questions about her stepfather's story. ABC's Victor Oquendo joins us live from the Bahamas this morning. Victor, what specifically led police to arrest the husband, and what are investigators questioning when it comes down to his timeline?
Yeah, Matt and Dia, several breaking developments here overnight. Bahamian police have been very careful about the information that they release and tight-lipped in person as well. But last night they arrested Brian Hooker and they brought him in for questioning. This on the same day that he broke his silence with a statement posted online saying in part that he was heartbroken about the accident and the search for his beloved Lynette was his sole focus. Lynette's daughter has expressed her doubts from the beginning, and we have been in the Bahamas all week, most locals telling us that the story just did not add up. But we should note that at this time, Matt and Dia, Brian has not been charged.
Now, how are authorities, Victor, trying to determine whether this was an accident or something more?
Right, so Dia, at this time, on top of his arrest here in the Bahamas, the U.S. Coast Guard has also announced that they are opening a criminal investigation to determine if there was any wrongdoing here. Brian was transported from here in Marsh Harbor to Freeport last night. That's what his attorney told us. And while we don't know exactly why that happened, we do know that there are courts in Freeport that could handle a case like this. We will have much more coming up on GMA. Matt, Dia.
Lots of developments there in the Bahamas. Thank you so much, ABC's Victor Oquendo, for joining us this morning.
Here's a snapshot now of news that you need to see. And we start with an incredible rescue. A miner in Mexico is recovering this morning after being trapped underground for nearly 14 days. Check out this video. This is the moment the emergency response team first reached the man. You can see him shirtless, standing there in waist-deep water. When the mine collapsed, it breached a dam, which then flooded the mine. 21 miners escaped immediately. One of them died. One is still missing, and another was rescued earlier. We're getting some incredible images from Artemis, including this breathtaking new view of our galaxy, the Milky Way. The crew snapped the shot after their lunar flyby. They're now heading home, expected to splash down on Earth tomorrow night just after 7 p.m. That is gorgeous. Now this is ugly. Talk about an unwanted intruder. Check out this guy found swimming in a Florida family's pool. Oh my goodness.
Oh my
I am
goodness.
squeamish. All right, a 9-foot-long alligator.
9 feet.
A wildlife trapper got called in, working with officers to pull the gator out of the pool from his little midnight swim and get him into a pickup truck. Apparently, it's mating season for alligators, so they're popping up in unusual spots even more right now. And that's a look at your morning snapshot. Our producer said it looked like it was about 6 feet. Horace, you were way off.
9 feet. That's a lot of boots, wallets, and belts if you ever want one. But I think
Stop
they relocated it
Stop
safely. Time right now is 6:39 this Thursday morning. Ahead on Daybreak, could a border wall be put in one of Texas's most untouched places?
At 6:50, why the government is pushing to put a wall in Big Bend despite low crossings.
And this morning, we are talking data centers, their impact in Texas reaching beyond water and power. Up next, the tax incentives costing the state billions.
And we're talking daily rain chances starting tomorrow. A few of those, we could see the potential for some strong storms, especially out to the west. We've got details on that.
Yeah, springtime in North Texas, we do have those storm chances. But until then, you have rain holds off. It gets a little bit more humid and warmer temperatures, too, as we head toward the end of the week. We'll have more on that for you coming up here when Daybreak continues. Good morning, Weatherford. Waking up to some partly cloudy skies there for you right now. More coming up.